Hello and welcome to another episode of Plus Physio. Here we'll be giving insight about how physiotherapy, technology, and ethics are linked together. So today I am honored to be here with a very special guest, Dr. Alpa. She is a principal in AIMS Physiotherapy College and also a respected member and voice in physiotherapy field.
Thank you, Himanshi, for providing me this wonderful opportunity.
So, ma'am, we'll give an insight, and I would like to get more understanding about how your journey was starting from education and until reaching this honored position.
Journey was quite excited, and my role as a principal of ethical committee member is to deliver and monitor what is right and what is wrong. And my basic role as a principal is delivered through the two variant. The first as a professional aspect, the second is a researcher, and second clinician aspect. Though professional practice is based on my knowledge, experience, accountability, active communication with the patient and student and staff members and entire organization, and along with that I have to deliver a very good and helpful environment to all the family members. And the second role as a clinician and researcher is basically I have to follow the rules and regulation of the ethical guidelines.
That's amazing. So, let's start with some understanding something foundational. Uh, so, I would like to ask you a question that why is it important to follow standardized practices and protocols across all the clinics?
Standardization ensures to provide a good high quality treatment across the patient wherever they are in the country. The standardization as per the NCHP guideline, that is NCHP means the National Council of Allied Healthcare Professional, has been designed a syllabus, that is a one nation one syllabus for specially for the physiotherapy profession. I think it would be a great outcome to the clinician aspect. So the standardization is necessary in the field of physiotherapy. There are certain types of guidelines available, which is a clinical practice guideline. In that clinical practice guideline, we have to follow the certain assessment, which is evidence based. We have to follow the certain treatment plan, and we have to follow that guideline must be in a flexible manner. And along with that flexibility, we have to equip ourselves and we have to invest ourselves in the field of physiotherapy, to invest ourselves in the education so that we can treat our patient with a new variant and new guideline.
So, do you think that digital tools help us enforce the evidence based treatment protocols?
The digital therapeutics are basically innovative and which is designed on the base of evidence base. So the digital therapeutics different tools are available like AI monitored that chatbots, virtual reality therapy sessions, as well as different variable devices. In that variable devices we can track and monitor the vitals, sleep pattern, etc. And along with that there are certain mobile apps are also available, which is very helpful to deliver a cognitive behavior therapy. And along with that cognitive behavior therapy we are also getting that some mindfulness treatment program. There are certain benefits by providing this digital therapeutics, that is providing us a very accurate data and easy to track and easy to monitor that.
To track the patient's improvement on digital basis. Does that support or benefit any kind of improvement talking about in terms of research and physiotherapy, specifically in education sector?
Yes, of course. The technology provide us a very beneficiary result to track the patient's data, because nowadays there are tele-rehabilitation is also available. Through that patient we as a therapist can track the different progress of the patient's outcome. Then we can design the modification of the treatment. In that aspect it is very helpful to educate our patient.
So, do you think that are there any kind of risk if we don't follow these standardizations talking about the digital documentation and protocols?
Yes, of course. Previously, when we were in the college time, at that time we enter our entire patient's detail in the register.
Okay.
So the handwritten, the documentation was little bit time consuming, and as compared to that, the digital documentation has a very good benefits. But along with that benefits, if we are not following the standardization, in at that time the data might get at risk.
Correct.
There are chances of theft as well as misuse of that patient's data.
Definitely. So do you think that technology upgrades in the Indian physiotherapy would align something in context to the global rehabilitation standards as well? As we have seen that there are a lot of compliances that are followed outside India. So do you think that integrating all those compliances here in India also would benefit some kind of alignment in physiotherapy field?
Yes, of course. Uh, in India, nowadays we are following the new technological concept, that is a tele-rehabilitation. Through that, we can reach any patient in the world. So, in India, there is a shortage of physiotherapists,
Correct.
but along with that, through this technology, we can reach anywhere in the world.
Great.
So, that way also, and along with that, there are so many variable devices available which provide us a real-time monitoring, so we
Okay.
can see the patient's progress,
Okay.
patient's treatment plan, and we can also modify the treatment plan wherever we are in the country.
Correct.
And along with that, I would like to add, in India, there are so many physiotherapy entrepreneurship programs are also available,
Okay.
and research grants are also available that provide our researcher to develop a new technical tool which is maybe eco-friendly to the patient as well as therapist, and along with that which is very user-friendly.
Correct. So that was all about how standardization and technology could be linked together. Now we should switch on to how ethics are inculcated with physiotherapy. So how do you see that ethics and accountability are evolving around physiotherapy today?
Okay. So, as an ethical principle, we have to respect the patient first.
Correct.
We have to respect the patient's priority.
Definitely.
Okay. Respect the patient's need and preferences. I would like to share one example of my one of the patient.
Sure.
1 week before, one of my patient called me that my mother is not able to walk properly.
Mhm.
Please, madam, what can we do? I have consulted the neurophysician also, and they have prescribed the medicine. So she said that, is it necessary to give a physiotherapy treatment? I said, patient is basically outside of Ahmedabad.
Okay, okay.
So I said, please share me the video of some movement of the lower limb as
Correct.
well as upper limb.
Okay.
She shared me the movement, and the lower limb is quite near to normal,
Okay.
and patient is able to move the limb. But
Achha.
as compared to lower limb, patient is not able to elevate the upper limb.
Okay.
So in that case, I advised to that patient's daughter that auntie required rather than lower limb physiotherapy, upper limb physiotherapy
Okay.
more. But patient's priority is, my mother is not able to walk. In
Correct.
that case, I have to respect the patient's preference first.
Definitely. Okay. So, that was great. We do understand and explore more that how such real-time incidents and issues could be beneficial as to feedback and improve the physiotherapy more. So I would like to ask that the digital documentation process that we are talking about, will this improve the transparency factor between the therapist and the patients?
Yes, of course. Through this digital documentation, patient can easily track their progress.
Okay.
Patient can easily see the outcomes. So patient gets self-motivated first.
Correct. Correct.
And along with that, there should be a transparency between the therapist as well as patient.
Definitely.
So it will create some trustworthy relationship between the patient and therapist both.
Okay. So, what kind of role does technology play in making therapists and specifically physiotherapy more accountable and reliable towards the patient?
Okay. So, as a therapist, I would recommend that therapist has to know the how to use that technology
Correct.
first, and along with that they have to provide a perfect and correct data to their
Very
patient,
true.
so that it will helpful to the develop the transparent relationship between patient and therapist both. And along with that, technology also help the physiotherapist to access the latest research, so that we can provide a better healthcare outcome to our patient.
Oh, that's great. So, how does giving patients access to their therapy records support ethical practice and empowerment?
Yes, of course. Digital documentation as well as electronic health records are very important. And nowadays, it will reduce the error
Okay,
while we are maintaining the records in handwritten.
correct.
As compared to that, digital documentation is very important. But
Definitely.
make sure that the therapist has to know how to use the digital documentation, and make sure that there are three considerations. First is accountability and
Mhm.
confidentiality.
Okay,
Okay, and then second, we have to give a guidance and support to our patient,
correct.
and third, we have to make sure that the data should not be misused.
Definitely. So, do you think that the regulatory bodies should find out some mandatory digital documentation processes in future situations?
Yes, of course. The regulatory body is necessary, and as well as our physiotherapy healthcare documentation systems or software based design. It is also aligned with the other medical healthcare software,
Okay.
and the regulatory body should be follow the standardized documentation system, and so that we will provide the effectiveness in our healthcare treatment in the field of physiotherapy.
Correct. So, talking about AI in physiotherapy, so do you think that in future AI will help us with ethical audits in physiotherapy?
Yes, of course. The it is a great help with the help of AI. We can use that AI different tools in the field of physiotherapy in the research purpose.
Mm-hmm.
In the research, we are usually using a different outcome as a tool, and with the help of AI, we can easily audit that outcome and
Okay.
calculate it easily. But make sure that the confidentiality of the data should be maintained. So, at the last, I would like to say human can develop AI, but we cannot replace the human in the on the behalf of AI.
Definitely, ma'am, that's very true. So, ma'am, I would like to know that how does AI support in clinical decision making when the situation comes up to complex cases?
Yes, of course. Previously, as we know, the spine surgeries was done in open spine surgery,
Okay,
and due to that open spine surgery, there are many chances of long-term complications
correct.
like nerve damage as well as muscle weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that case, AI supported. There are new techniques or software available which help to our patient to come out with that specific pathology, and recovery time is little bit early.
Ma'am, would you help our viewers to understand why Plus Physio should be used and what are the benefits of using Plus Physio?
Yes, of course. The Plus Physio provides all of the physiotherapy with a user-friendly that software, and also we can easily access that patient's data as well as appointment schedule as well as financial that aspect also. So we can easily schedule our appointment on the base of this software, and also we will save our time behind this manual data tracking system. So use Plus Physio software. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us insights regarding Plus Physio. So, ma'am, how to get patients tracking in physiotherapy using such software?
Uh, we have to basically start practice in a small group with a little bit pilot project. And second is to train our team
Okay.
to make sure that in-house training program that is a value base, and to train the team how to use the digital tool as well as documentation.
Okay.
And third, to choose the right platform.
Okay.
In that, we have to choose a specific platform that is aligned with your clinical framework and
Okay.
support the mobile as well as your tablet. So
Okay.
I would like to give an example. There are different tools available. In that, we have to choose a specific platform which is aligned with your clinical framework, like OPD based software as well as IPD based software, which is totally different. We cannot consider it as a common software. So we have to align that software as per our clinical framework, and which is aligned with our mobile or as well as tablet.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us here and giving us so much insightful details about how physiotherapy and ethical practices are inculcated in physiotherapy.
Thank you, Himanshi, and thank you Plus Physio for providing me this opportunity.